Hello everyone and welcome to a very special edition of the Create With podcast. We're here in Paris at the NoCode Summit. We're literally in Station F right now to record this special episode. So quite two unusual episodes in a row. Last time at BubbleCon, this time we're in Paris at the NoCode Summit. I'm here with Ash.
Hey everyone.
And Kieran, of course.
Hello.
And we're going to do a bit of an episode just summarising what we've been up to here, what's happening. If you've not been to NoCode Summit before, what to expect, the kind of the people we've met, and we'll put in some little clips of the experience here. Because what we want to try and get across is the actual scale of this event. This is, I think, the biggest NoCode themed event in the world. Like, I think it's touted to be about 3,000 attendees. And there is stuff happening all the time. So right now there are tons of stands and talks going on constantly, and in the evening there's loads of stuff happening as well. So
maybe start with the little history of how NoCode Summit connects with Create With and
the
first NoCode UK conference.
So maybe that's a great place to start, because a year ago we were here, and that is actually where the whole NoCode UK / Create With thing started. So
we met all in person for the first time as well.
Too. That's true. Yeah, I met you for the first time in this in Station F. So it's crazy to think of everything that's happened in that year since. But maybe do you want to give a summary of like last year and how we met, and I guess, and then Kieran can maybe touch on how the idea for NoCode UK and we kind of got together as a group. That might be a good place to start.
Yeah, and so I think probably one of the things that we constantly say about the NoCode space is the people in the community. And so there was many years where a lot of us were connecting on Twitter. We knew each other by our usernames, but we hadn't actually met in person. And so NoCode Summit has been growing quite exponentially since its first year in Paris. And last year, it kind of seemed like the place to finally catch up and meet everyone in person. So we attended the event last year, and it was obviously a very iconic city, a great mix of talks, sponsors here from like all the top NoCode tools, and just like a great place to connect, hang out. There was impromptu talks. I think that was one of the big highlights of last year. The panel that you gave right near the end of the event, very highly attended, but you could tell that people were very curious. What's it like to be a NoCode founder, be a NoCode creator? And you could just tell the energy and curiosity there was enough to kind of spill over into needing another event, not just waiting a whole year for one, but basically having an event in May, and that's why we put together NoCode UK, and that's where I think you got the whole idea on the train to this conference, or coming from the conference, but basically that's where you were like, hey, we've got to bring this to the UK.
It was, I think we had done BubbleCon last year in New York. We were here in Paris, and we were like, wow, it feels like the UK and London is left out a bit. We need to bring something like this to the UK. So that's kind of how it started, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Last year, NoCode Summit was like a great chance to meet people for the first time, all our Twitter friends. And it was like, you kind of know them, but you don't really know them. Then this year coming back, because we had NoCode UK and a couple of other things, it's like seeing old friends now, because you have actually met them several times in the last year. So that's really cool. I think after last year, we were just like, why is there, like, we don't want to have to wait till next October to see everyone and hang out. So why don't we organize something in the UK? Not really realizing that it was a bigger undertaking than just that. But yeah, it came off really well. And also shout out to Ash for not only for helping us with the conference, but also helping us with the talk. Last year, I remember you were giving us a pep talk on how we could do our little panel, and it worked out much better thanks to you.
Yeah, no, again, it's great that there's the space and the audience here to connect, because NoCode Summit we'll probably get into. Now that we've been here for 2 years, we can kind of give a few tips of like what to expect. And so NoCode Summit seems to be a great starting point for anyone curious in NoCode. We've seen throughout the course of the last couple of days, tour groups kind of go through, and they have headsets and everything, gain personalized demos of all these tools that they're probably seeing for the first time. I think there is everything from a group of different companies. There was a group of students that was just here earlier as well too. So for folks who are really new to no code, it provides a great kind of onboarding point. And I think, again, your talk last year was great for that. So the way you took people through your origin stories all the way through what like a day in life looks like for both of you was, again, a really great opportunity to share that at this conference. But yeah, what would you say now, being here 2 years in a row, what could people expect if they're attending for the very first time?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think the real strength of NoCode Summit, if you're kind of getting into NoCode for the first time, is that every tool is represented here. So it isn't like it's particularly, focused on advanced tools or beginners tools. They're all here really, and they've all got stands, and their teams are down there in the main hall, ready to kind of answer your questions, give you a demo, show you how stuff works. So I do love that about it, is that it's just got representation from quite technical tools and pro kind of stuff, maybe like Xano at the top end, and then we've got like mass market consumer stuff like Zapier as well represented here. They're all here,
and with tons of swag.
Stickers, yeah, the swag is pretty epic
Rubik's
as well.
Cubes,
socks, yeah.
Yes,
Socks have been the one to get this year.
Definitely try and grab those on the first day because they will run out.
Yeah. And also just what a fantastic space this is hosted in Station F. It really is a really impressive venue, because in this section here where we are now, there is all the stands from the different companies, but also there are so many stages here, from small ones where there's kind of intimate like workshops through to the massive kind of keynote stage. There are so many different stages. So if anything, it's just a struggle trying to work out what to see and like how to split up your day. Because obviously you want to spend as much of your time on the main floor meeting people. That's kind of the main reason a lot of people come here. But you've got to kind of plan into to see what you want to see and balance the day up. So I probably would say if you are planning on coming next year, to try and pick out your like must-see sessions in advance, and then build your rest of your plans around that. So maybe there's just a couple of things you want to see, but I think for me and a lot of other people here, a lot of the benefit that you get out of it is from meeting other people. So like people that you might recognize from social media, you kind of just bump into and get talking to them, and get talking to the people from the tools themselves.
Yeah, I really enjoyed yesterday going around all the stands and discovering new tools that I'd never heard of. And often you'll be speaking directly to the founder of the tool, and you can literally like ask them to demo it right in front of you, and find out the tools that you might want to try out next, and the ones that fit your skill level. And then even you can like go and meet the founder of Bubble or something. Emmanuel was at the stand for ages, so that's super cool as a Bubble fan, to be able to just go and chat with the person that actually built this tool that you're using. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So we both have covered a few tips to point out. So definitely maybe plan in advance, take a look at the schedule and program, because obviously there's multiple stages, like you said, talks conflicting, but also making time to meet people. There's networking areas, there's different spaces to grab a coffee, grab a chat, which is really, really lovely if you want to get out the main area of all the hustle and bustle. There's also hackathons going on, we mentioned as well too, if you want to see people building things live in person, pitch competitions. And we haven't talked about even the pre-parties and after-parties yet. So first off, shout out to Amandine to put together this incredible community event, bringing us as the UK entity of the community together, but with dozens of other no-code communities all together in one space. So that pre-party, I think you both attended last year as well too.
Yeah.
Great space as well. Great kind of time for people when they're just settling into Paris, just want to go for a drink, catch up with people, say hi before the conference. So that's a really great bonus as well that may not always be advertised around the conference. And then the after party as well too. You both experienced.
Yes, well, Kieran was there from the beginning last night, and the after party was on an incredible kind of venue this year. It was a boat, I think, wasn't it, Kieran?
Yeah, it was a boat, like 10 minutes walk from the venue on the river. It was like three level boat. So yeah, it was cool. I've never been to anything like that, and there was like a secret like karaoke room at the back, which was really hard to find. But if you got there, it was like all these no coders singing and at times beatboxing as well, which was
Nice.
which was pretty funny. And yeah, it was just like, I was seeing like the CEO of Xano was on the dance floor. It was pretty crazy. And then from what I hear, they went on after that and did more karaoke.
Yeah,
But
I think
thankfully I was in
karaoke
bed.
is very on trend for NoCode Summit as well. We're seeing a lot of karaoke. So the conference actually starts on Wednesday, but there is some unofficial stuff that happens on Tuesday, the night before, isn't there?
Yeah, like great opportunity to do some welcome drinks, and so probably recommend arriving early, get settled in your accommodation, and then there's opportunities to meet up with people before the conference, catch up with friends, and go for some food, which is what we did. Again, great community party that was hosted on the Tuesday night. Grab some food, and then kind of almost like shared your plan for the following days, Wednesday and Thursday, with everyone else. But so that first night that you kind of get settled in, then we go into Wednesday.
And if you can, it does make sense to try and plan a bit in advance of what you're going to do. Obviously, stuff changes when you're here as you kind of meet people and kind of do different things. But if you can, I think it is a good idea to try and plan out what sessions you might want to see, maybe what companies you might want to meet, what stands you might want to visit, so you can kind of try and cover those maybe on day one. And make sure you've got them covered, because there's so much happening. It can be quite hard to work out what to see. Obviously it's a really friendly community. I think that's something we've always said about no code in general, is that you could even come on your own, not knowing anyone, and I think you would make friends very easily. It's very welcoming, isn't it?
We met people who met other people maybe at another conference or on Twitter, and then they meet their friend here. They introduce us, and then you have a new group, and we all go for lunch together as well too. So that's again like a huge plus.
There is a lot of that, isn't there? Like just lots of time to get to know each other, and also learn what other people are doing and what's happening. Because I think again, probably everyone's aware, but even since last year, AI is even more dominant here as a theme. I think it's even in the kind of tagline of the event now. It's kind of no code, low code, and Gen AI
for all.
So that's been really interesting to see, and we're seeing it kind of in more and more of the tools as well. So I saw there was an announcement from Xano yesterday about introducing this new kind of concept of actions, which are kind of steps within a workflow where you can do kind of tasks and like AI stuff. But I was wondering, from all the people that you've met and maybe the demos you've seen, the companies you've seen, what are some kind of standout things that you've seen, or maybe favorite tools or people that you've met so far? Any highlights for you guys so far?
I mean, you get, like Kieran saying, you get the personalized demos in the booth, which are really fun, and then you get some of the talks, which are unveiling new features. Again, some of them aren't all public. I think there's a couple even coming out next week, so we can't share them all right now. But one of the funner experience I had, where the Toddle guys have a couple apps to kind of showcase what you can build on Toddle, and one of them is Startup or Pokemon, and it's actually harder than you might think. But it's a little Game Boy game that you can sort different names, and you have to tell whether it's a startup or a Pokemon, highlight it in, and see if you can get the high score. Just chatting with the Toddle founders and everything, really friendly guys. So that was a good experience, and I love seeing what they're kind of building. They also have I think a mini hackathon competition in the works that I'm also really excited for. That's supposed to maybe come around December, but again, not fully announced yet.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say Toddle as well, just because I really like those guys, and I think they've got a great product. But also I spoke to Colin from Base Rose, which I hadn't actually heard of before, but it's fairly new, and they're essentially building kind of an alternative to Airtable. And from what I could see, the UI, the design looks really slick. And so, I think that's definitely one to watch, and one I'd like to try out.
Yeah, Colin's actually one of the talks I'll be attending later today as well too. So looking forward to that. Good shout out.
Really excited, and I think probably my favorite session so far was actually the opening session, where we had kind of CEOs from maybe 5 of the biggest tools in the ecosystem, talking about the big questions that we all kind of hear, what's the impact of AI going to be on no-code tools? It's just kind of it's like a big talking point, and also how are big enterprises adopting no-code and what are the barriers to that? I thought that was a really interesting discussion. And again, I think all the talks from here are going to be available online. So even if you couldn't make it in person this year, there is a ton of stuff to look at online, and there's and obviously there's all the announcements that have happened here from all the different companies as well. But yeah, we're on the final day today. So this is the Wednesday, although this is a Thursday today. But it's still super busy. There's still a lot of stuff happening. So I think there is going to be a final kind of party tonight. I think
there will probably be multiple. Yeah. I'm sure.
So there's a little bit more to go, but I think if you've never been to Paris before, you can also take time out from the actual conference and go and explore a bit. It's a very well located.
Also unusually nice weather. Last year, very, very warm. Yesterday, 24 degrees. So we might have to convert that for American viewers. But very lovely, sunny, warm weather as well too. And for October, for conference season, it's kind of welcoming to come to the city, so you can also see some sights and go on a tour with other people who are attending.
Absolutely, and of course, like a lot of the people that we've been going around Paris with are people who we've met either at BubbleCon or the Create With conference, or here. You do kind of meet a lot of the same people who are traveling around, going to all these different events. So it is a really nice kind of community. So I think overall, if you've never been to NoCode Summit before, I think it is definitely worth experiencing. I think that would probably be a kind of a bit of an overview. We'll do a bit of a write-up as well of our favourite moments. But anything else you'd like to add about the last few days?
Yeah, closing thoughts. I think that's the takeaway consistently after 2 years is just the amazing people that you meet, the energy that you go into a conference like this. You're expecting your standard talks, getting kind of demos, but there's so much more we talked about kind of around the conference itself, and the people are just some of the best in the tech startup ecosystem space. So
absolutely,
that's the thing I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, I think if you come to this, like if you're totally new to no code, like the guy we went to lunch with yesterday, I think his name was Pedro. And he's like, just quit his job to go all in on no code, but he's like complete beginner, still trying to learn which tool to pick. He had such a positive attitude and was immediately like meeting loads of people and asking them loads of questions. I think it's just a great way to go from like 0 to 100 like really quickly. And we saw that last year as well with Benoit, who was new to it, and now he's like big in the ecosystem. So I think it's a great starting point if you can get yourself to Paris, right?
100%. Whether you're a freelancer, working a big corporate, working an agency, there is a mix. So whatever your background is, I think
there's literally been a session for every group, for freelancers carving out their career, for folks in corporations, companies to become like a citizen developer. We've seen a few different kind of terms used in different contexts. Literally been a talk or some sort of discussion for each stage you are in your no-code journey.
100%. So I think that kind of wraps up our very quick summary of a No-Code Summit. We wanted to do a little episode while we were here, just to give you a feel for what it's like. We'll also kind of share in the next newsletter that's going to be out on Tuesday our highlights from the event, top announcements, things that we really liked, our favourite apps that we maybe saw here. That's it for this week. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, thanks.